What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to be talking about a topic that I know that's on a lot of people's minds right now. Prices are apparently going up for Funko Pops, which is a huge bummer, and that's why in today's video we're going to break it down and I'm going to give you my thoughts on the current situation. So for those of you guys who haven't heard, we've gotten 3 pieces of news regarding Funko Pops going up in certain situations. For instance, over on Entertainment Earth's website, a couple days ago, we saw that they upped their pre-order prices for new Funko Pops up by 40% from $11.99 to $16.99 for a pop. Another piece of news that we got yesterday was Pop Yourself, the very popular avenue that a lot of people have used directly through Funko's website to make a smaller little version of themselves with various accessories and little pets, is apparently also going up by $10. This is actually very interesting because in Funko's 2024 sales report, they actually cited that Pop Yourself was one of their most profitable outlets for revenue in 2024. So that'll be interesting to see how that plays out. Furthermore, just before WonderCon a couple weeks back, Funko also announced that they're going to be charging slightly more for limited piece pops depending on how limited that pop is. If you guys want to go check out the video that I did regarding the limited piece chart and that breakdown, make sure to go check it out. I will link it above. As of the recording of this video, which is April 16th, we have not seen a limited piece drop based on that chart that Funko had given us, although they did say that they were going to start rolling out those limited piece pops here in the month of April. So those are the 3 pieces of price increase news that we have so far. With that being said, is it time to officially panic? I actually don't think so, and I'm going to offer you guys some perspective. So let's start off by taking the economy and inflation into consideration. For those of you guys who don't know, Funko Pops were actually cheaper than they are right now. Typically a Funko Pop is $15. However, back in 2010, when they started producing Funko Pops, the normal retail price was $8.95. To prove that, I have a couple old Funko Pops back here in my collection. This original penguin here is from 2012, and he actually has that $8.95 price sticker on the bottom. Beautiful pop. Love having this in my DC collection. Let's go over to our handy dandy inflation calculator. If we were to take this pop, for instance, at that $8.95 from 2010 or 2012 and bring it to the year 2025, adjusted for inflation, that would actually cost $32.30. Could you imagine the outroar if a Funko Pop was retail $32.30? Thankfully, we are nowhere close to that number. So putting that $16.99 Entertainment Earth pre-order price into perspective, that's a little bit, less than half or a little bit more than half of that $32. Thankfully, we are nowhere close to that. Now, inflation calculates increase in costs and, production limitations and everything that companies have to deal with as we go forward in time. Another thing that I want to bring up in regards to the current economy is that unfortunately there is a big tariff situation that every single toy company has to deal with right now, or they're going to have to figure out how to deal with it once this 90-day pause is over. That's something that's not unique to Funko. Every single company is going to have to figure that out and navigate it for the best for their business. Furthermore, the good thing about Funko here in 2025 compared to 2010, for instance, is that Funko is far more accessible compared to 15 years ago when Pops first started, hitting shelves. Funko is at a lot of different stores now. In addition to having your major retailers like Amazon, Walmart, and Target, you've also seen Funko Pops hit discount store shelves. Now, I am not a huge fan of seeing Pops at these discount store shelves. However, I can sympathize with people who may not have a lot of money in their budget and maybe they only have $5 a month to purchase something and they still want to be a part of this amazing hobby. To that, I encourage them to go to these stores like Marshall's, like Ross, like Five Below, where you can buy a Funko Pop for very cheap and still be a member of this amazing community. Also, on top of that, the Funko shop itself, Funko's website, actually has sales all the time. On top of that, other retailers like Hot Topic and Box Lunch, they have their own discount programs of their own. Hot Topic has Hot Cash, and then Box Lunch has Box Lunch Money, and then even other retailers like GameStop, they have a rewards program that you can sign up for free, and you get a $5 coupon every single month, which you can use on anything in the store, which does include Funko Pops. On top of that, Funko's website again offers you another opportunity to save some money, as they have their own rewards program that you can sign up for. It's completely free and you'll get rewards on every single purchase that you make through Funko.com and Loungefly.com. So with all of that being said, can we definitively say that these price increases that we are seeing on Entertainment Earth's pre-orders, on the Pop Yourself, and on the limited piece pops, are these all justified, and are they going to just be the start of things to come? Well, I don't have all the answers and all the pieces to the puzzle. I don't know everything that happens at Funko, so that's why we have to look at facts. And with those facts, I like to turn to supply and demand. Now, of course, we're not going to be naive to the fact that Funko's costs have most definitely gone up. Everybody's costs have gone up. But I want to look at supply and demand because that is something that we can truly look at and have hard numbers to crunch as a consumer or collector. So let's look at some of the pros for demand. Recently, in terms of the NFTs, we've seen drops like the April Fool's drop that happened recently, Avatar: The Last Airbender, and Toy Story all sell out within the same day that they were dropped. Furthermore, the anime pop that just dropped this week, forgive me, I'm going to butcher this name, I believe it's Muchiro Takedo, the mist-breathing version here from Demon Slayer, has a really cool glow chase. This one did sell out twice at $18. I say twice because it was restocked 2 times. As of the recording of this video, it's still back up during its most recent restock. However, thousands of collectors were okay with going to the website and shelling out that $18 because this pop did have a glow chase. So you had an opportunity to get an item that's worth more than $18, but people were still fine with paying that $18 price tag from the get-go. Furthermore, I want to give you some more insight to another Funko item that some of you guys may have forgotten about over the last few weeks. The Felix the Cat Jumbo Chan figure sold out at $300 each. No chance at chase, extremely limited figure, only 1,200 pieces of this guy, but still, 1,200 people were okay with forking out $300 for this figure. Now, it's a larger figure. It's far more detailed than your regular Funko Pop, which justifies the price for some collectors. But still, to see that sell out is a pretty good indication of where collector demand is currently here in 2025. Now, let's look at a con here. This is a big con that I wanted to bring up here for demand here in 2025, but I think it accurately represents where we are and where we stand as collectors here in 2025. If you go to Funko's website, just about every single WonderCon 2025 exclusive is still available, excluding the limited pieces, of course, which just shows me, based on all the factors that I just described to you guys, is that collectors are okay with paying a little bit higher if there's a chance at chase or if they're going after a limited piece pop. Now, I think there's some other outliers where if the pop is a character that's popular enough or from an IP that has enough demand, people will still go out and they'll pay the higher price. So that just shows you that people are okay with paying a little bit more if it's something they gotta have for their collection. But on the flip side, if it's something that people don't want, clearly it's just going to sit there on Funko's website or Target's shelf or Amazon.com until the retailers are forced to put these items on sale. And that's where I think we need to look at this and not panic, because at the end of the day, if something is not popular enough, these companies are going to be forced to put these items on sale, which only benefits us as the consumer. So if you exercise a little bit of patience, which is something that we've always talked about here on this channel, you can find stuff for a great deal if you're willing to just wait a little bit until those prices come down. Now, if something has enough demand, it's probably going to sell out right away, and you're not going to be able to get it for that retail price. You're going to have to go to the secondary market, and you're going to have to pay more. But speaking of the secondary market is purely built up by supply and demand. And that's where I like to look at apps like Whatnot. Whatnot is a fantastic place where you can buy and sell Funko Pops, of course, but you can actually get tremendously good deals on items through their app. You can get items for as little as $1 in certain streams. Heck, you could even win some items for free through all these streamers that are doing giveaways all the time. So there's a lot of opportunity to get items for extremely low prices, even if you are one of those people who has a far limited income right now due to whatever your financial situation. and you still want to be a part of this community. I think a lot of the people who are complaining about the price hikes right now are people that actually aren't even collecting anymore. They just like to sit around and complain for the sake of complaining, but they're actually not members of the community. They just like to make a big fuss about things, even though it doesn't really affect them, because the people that I talk to regularly and the people that are in our group chats, we're all collecting and happy and everything. And yes, there might be certain things that are out of our price range, but that doesn't mean we're going to stop collecting. That doesn't mean we're going to give up all hope. Some things naturally in life just take a little extra work. And if you want to get a more expensive item for your collection, a grail per se, it's going to take a little bit of work. If you want to go out and get something that not everybody wants, well, then there's a good chance you could probably get a good deal on it. Now, I'm not going to be insensitive to those who maybe have a very, very, very small amount of disposable income. And to you guys, I would say that if you still want to collect and you still want to be part of this community, I think there's another avenue that might be a good option for you, and that is going biddy. If you want to save up, let's say you only have $5 a month to spend on Funko Pops. Instead of saving up for 4 months to buy your one pop, maybe looking at biddy pops is the way to go, because you can get 4 biddy sized characters for the price of one Funko Pop. And biddies are another thing that Funko cited as one of their top performing products of 2024, and I continue to see biddy pops taking off even more here in 2025. And I think it has a lot to do with space, but it could also be a lot to do with the fact that they are significantly cheaper per item inside this little 4-pack. But let me know your thoughts on the current price increase situation. Overall, I don't think it's going to affect us that much because of how many avenues and outlets there are to save money via discounts and coupon codes and sales and everything that we have access to. And I think companies are actually the ones that are going to be taking a hit, not us, the collectors, aka the consumers. So I'm sure we're going to be talking about this more tonight over on Pop Force 1. Actually, it's going to be here tonight on our channel. So if you're not doing anything, 9 p.m. Eastern, come on over. It'll be me, myself, Professor Josh, and the Poppin' Duo breaking down all the latest Funko news here in the community. So with that being said, don't stop shooting until you score, and we'll see you guys tonight.